Anyway, welcome to the 2020 Mission Horizon Challenge referee training video. This video is for the host, the referees, and the scorekeeper. Just know that this video is part, or should be used in part, with the other documents and videos that will be found on the Mission Horizon Challenge video and document page. You go to the bottom of that page and you will recognize a section with 10 to 15 links that are just intended for the referees, the host, scorekeepers, not for coaches. So some of the information that is in them documents is intended for the administrative side, not for the coach to share with the students. So just make sure that coaches, if you see this video, or if some of you who are referees are coaches, please do not share information that pertains or gives an unfair advantage to your students over the other students. All right. But as we go forward here, I got a few things that we'll start with, and primarily if you're a new host, all the hosts at this point have already received team registration forms or a file with all the team names on them. At this point, you can communicate with those coaches and teams that are for your region. Welcome them, bring them, let them know who you are, where the tournament's going to be, the goings on at your tournament as far as concessions, schedule, times, whatnot. Just communicate with your host. If you can produce a website or a web page, that is the best option, especially when you consider snow days. You build a web page, you give me the link, and that coach communicates through the RCX website to your information. Instead of you just update the one page, and they can go to that page constantly to see what's going on. But if you want to do emails and communicate to your coaches that way, you're welcome to do that as well. Over the next week or so, I'm going to create some documents that I'm going to provide to you, the host. And the first set of documents will primarily be for the host, assistant host, and the head referee. The first document will be the host information packet. And it's a multi-page packet that's got a lot of information. And essentially this packet is intended for the newbie. So there's information here that, I'm telling you to get pens and pencils if you're using paper score sheets. I'm telling you to get extension cords and stuff like that as you set up. So just know that that information packet is for the person who has never done this before. I'm trying to put as much information out there to help you, not overwhelm you. But just know that that information packet has a lot of details in there. And again, I've already gone over with the list of coaches. The first thing you do is communicate with the coaches. That's the first thing in the information packet. The second thing you're going to do is tournament prep. And that's pretty much the documents, and they're found on the Mission Horizon Challenge video and documents page at the bottom. Review all those documents with the host and the head referee. Essentially, you two are the people who run that tournament. You're the police officers that keep control of all the teams, the guests that are present at your tournament. You two are essentially the people who coordinate all the activities. On the day of the tournament, the host will be responsible for the volunteers that are away from the tournament area, where the head referee will be responsible for all the referees around the tables, the boards, and the goings on in the gym area. So between the host and the head referee, you split responsibilities the day of the tournament, but the two of you are the ones that make the tournament happen. The next section on there is referee training, which we'll go over that in detail in a few minutes. I've got a listing of supplies that you'll need. Again, I mentioned the pens and pencils, score sheets. I've only used it a handful of times in 15 years, but I recommend you print off a paper copy of the general rules, the missions for the Mission Horizon Challenge, and a few other documents that are listed on this form. I've only used them a handful of times, but just know as the host and referee, you're there to make decisions to benefit the students. So the general rules gives a footprint or a layout of what the teams have to do, participation, eligibility, construction of the robot, activity at the tournament. Tournament policy gives you, the host, the ability to pretty much attend rules that you can tell the people in attendance, the conduct, the progression of the tournament throughout the day. You know, there's different documents that I provide for you with the intent to support you as the host, so that when, rarely if ever, but when conflict arises, you've got a document that says Doug, the RCX program, is supporting you, the host, in your actions at this tournament. I've got 12 tournaments. I can't be at all of them. I'm going to try to hit a handful this year. I try to hit a handful every year. But just know that these documents are supporting you as a host in the running of your tournament. And if you have to call me on the day of the tournament, that's fine. I'll help you out with whatever's going on. But just know that the decisions on tournament day are you, the host. I'll support your actions. And on occasion, some decisions may not be exactly what I want, but just know at the end of the day, I support you. And when it comes to the state tournament, if there is something that needs to be adjusted or corrected, I will work with you in correcting anything that may have went wrong. So just know that we're here, and I'm here to help you guys make this a successful tournament. To continue on with this information package, on there, plan on a referee training, let's say in the middle of the week before your tournament. Plan on setting up your tournament Friday night and running your tournament Saturday morning. That is the best way to run your tournament. I know sometimes you don't have the ability to get into the rooms, but if you have the ability, do a training session with your referees on one night, on a second night, set up for the tournament so that your tournament can run the following day. So it's a total of 3 days of activity that you got to do in preparation and running of your tournament. I did have one tournament last year, and that person, when they listen to this video, will probably be embarrassed, but they had people set up their boards, their quad platform and whatnot, and they set it up backwards. So when they showed up Saturday morning, the tables were screwed together the wrong way, and they had to spend an hour of reconstructing the boards. So if at all possible, when you do the setup on Friday night, make sure the host and head referee are there to make sure everything is set up correctly on Friday night to save you some anguish on Saturday morning. Okay, let's go. Alrighty, where am I going next? That's tournament. We got some scorekeeper information. Before the tournament, the scorekeeper should probably contact me. There's 2 ways to keep score this year. One's paper, which is an Excel spreadsheet. Essentially, the referees score the action of the team at the board. They take the piece of paper, hand it to a scorekeeper. Scorekeeper enters the data, and then the program compiles the information to establish point value and ranking of teams. The second way is a Google form, which is a tablet-based scoring. And the referee is the most important person in this one, because the referee scores the team, communicates to the team captain the results, and hits submit. Once they hit submit on the form, information is automatically tabulated. The head coach gets an email of the results of their team. The scores for that team are compiled in a Google Sheet, which is then sent out. Parents will have access to it, coaches will have access to it to see the results of their child. And it usually takes about a minute or two for it to update, but for the most part, you do the tablet scoring method. There's very little error created, and so therefore there's very little, you don't have the students coming up to you constantly asking, what's my score, where am I ranked? You don't have parents doing the same thing, asking a lot of questions about scoring. So the scorekeeper has a very easy job if you're doing the Google form, because everything's done electronically. Coach is happy because they get results. Parents and grandparents are happy because they see what their kids have done. So I recommend doing the Google scoring format. It's a little more work on my end before I send stuff out to the host. But at the end of the day, there's a lot less question that the parents, coaches, and students have during your tournament. So that is that for the scorekeeper. There's some other stuff on the form. It says real quick, referee helps, again on the Mission Horizon video and documents page. It's broken apart in host, scorekeeper, and referee, and each one has responsibilities and documents, PDFs, and other support videos that will help each person prepare for the tournament. At the completion of your tournament, just know that as the manager of the RCX program, I thank you guys for everything you've done as a host. I thank your coaches. Make sure you, before you conclude, you thank the coaches and the volunteers for all the effort that they put in preparation for the tournament. You know, without the host and all the volunteers, the RCX program, you know, it wouldn't be what it is today. So I thank you in this video. I thank the volunteers and coaches as well that are at your tournament. Before you wrap up that tournament, you know, ask everybody to help clean up. Don't forget that, because nobody wants to stay around and clean by themselves. So ask all the attendees and volunteers to clean up before they leave. And one last thing before you turn the lights off. The scorekeeper, I need the scorekeeper to email me the form. Now the Google form, I have access to it, but if you're using the paper form, the Excel form, I need the scorekeeper before you go home, before you turn your laptop off, to email doug.rcx@gmail.com the results of your tournament. This year's tournaments, you know, some regions are sending 5, 6 teams, some regions are sending 10 to 15 teams. So in order for me to coordinate in a timely fashion to prepare for the STLP State Championship, I need to coordinate with the coaches some logistics to get with the STLP program. So just know that I need you to submit the results of your tournament on Saturday at the end of your tournament so I can communicate to the coaches by 8 a.m. on Monday. If at all possible, I'll probably email those coaches on Sunday, but I need to provide information to STLP for preparation for the state tournament, because RCX sends somewhere between 500 and 600 people to the tournament, between students and parents. So, you know, Jeff needs to know how many people are there and to accommodate their needs. So that's pretty much it as far as the information packet goes and the things that I need from the host and the head referee. The scorekeeper, I kind of went over what I needed there with the scoring format, whether it's Excel or Google. And again, if you're doing the Google, the tablets, one thing is make sure you download the information to the tablet the night before and practice once or twice. I will instruct the scorekeeper how to delete those files, or they can contact me and I'll delete them from my office. But just know that the referees, as they use the tablets, you know, just practice a little bit, and on tournament day, either you can delete them or I'll delete them from your file. But that's the only other thing that the scorekeeper has to worry about. So next I'm going to transition to the referee, which is the majority of the tournament, because the referees are essentially the people that the kids see and the coaches see. So the referee is a high profile individual, and I'm going to do a lot more discussion about the referee. Okay?